Alrighty, guys, it is 3:30 this Monday, August 11th. Sorry, I missed the last update. I got stuck in something else. But anyway, so looking at this market, it's like a pretty range-bound excuse me, it's pretty range-bound market. Not a lot of action going on, pretty slow. Volume is way down. But overall, you can see that we had a nice little run up here after that landing close. I was getting a little optimistic on that one. And I kind of watching it, it's like, okay, here, and then it started fading and fading and fading. It's like, okay, I was waiting for a buying opportunity. I did a couple of trades on the Nasdaq. It didn't turn out to still, there's no lift in it at all. So I thought it's going to be like in a down here and it's going to be able to hold in line. But so far, they're just kind of drifting lower. So I would start the overnight now, rest range bound. I would probably start with a bias to the downside to see if you can retest these lows, maybe take it lower. Going into tomorrow, we have a CPI number come out at 8:30, and that's about it. So that's what we got going tomorrow morning. CPI, and if that read comes in a little bit harder than expected, it could be an interesting reaction in the market. We'll see. But overall, the CPI reads has been like less and less important. They used to be a big deal, but then again, less and less of a reaction. So at this point, I would just start off range bound. I would start off with a bias to the downside, given the afternoon weakness, and then see if they can retest these lows potentially and take it lower. But you can see how weak this is. Like the anemic volume, not much happening at all. So that's what I would do, and then let's see how this whole thing shakes out for tomorrow. Looking at the Nasdaq and the bond market, it's just not doing anything. They've been absolutely anemic as well. So here you go, that's range bound action on that guy, not going anywhere. So not much to say about that, but start off range bound on that. When it comes to the Nasdaq, I did a couple of trades here, so I watched this move to the upside, and I was super tempted to hop on a short trade up here, but that I wasn't sure if it was actually going to go or not. So I'm kind of waited, but that when it started fading, I figured out okay, maybe down here at the mean, but I didn't want to trade the mean either. So mean in and out, it's just nah. It's just in that directional call you have to make. However, when it ran lower here, when they start taking this lower, I figured I had a shot at potentially potential trade. You see it when they run down and test these lows. They were running it pretty hard to the downside. So that was a pretty aggressive trade. Got in on that one. And I was sitting here watching it, and suddenly as it was stopped out, boom, right like that. And then afterwards, so you know how fast it goes when the bar doesn't form at the same time. Then it forms afterwards because there was like literally a massive trade came on. He just ran the whole thing. Low ticked me. Shook me out of that trade. I tried another long trade a little bit later, a couple of bars later. But I'm thinking here like this run down here and then a little snapback. That one went to break even and that shook me out, so that didn't work. I tried another one here at the end of the initial balance. At support, and now set up trigger, everything lining up. And it didn't go very far. It just went sideways. It was twisting in the wind for a while, so I just got out of it. And that's a nick of time before they ran it lower. Then I tried one more trade after this run, and I figured this has to be it. They run it lower, now it's going to run it back up again. So I tried a long trade, and it got caught, and it just started drifting lower. So I tightened up my stop and let it stop me out with a not too bad of a loss. So I'm down 92 now in four trades. And it's like, yeah, great. So two losers, two scratches, and that was it. Since then, I haven't been. I figured like, okay, so they're not seeing that lift. So I'm waiting for that snapback, that little rally dynamic you get sometimes. So far, I'm not seeing any of it. So no point of re-engaging it again until I see that actually starts happening. So, and I don't want to be aggressive on the short side either, because as you can tell, they run it lower and then just go right back up again. So it is just a difficult one to trade. And then finally, oil and gold. Oil and gold is just kind of holding in the range, not going anywhere. So range bound that guy. They are down here at support. They haven't really retraced either. So I would start off range bound. If anything, maybe bias to the downside to see if you can retest these lows, maybe take it lower. We're looking to sell strength against the 34.12s and the 34.17, 18 is going to put a level here by tomorrow. And then on oil, it's not going anywhere. It's just kind of run out of gas as well. So not much happening on oil either. So anything, the whole thing is kind of absolutely not much action going on whatsoever. So, all right, back to the ES and so range bound oil, range bound oil. ES and Nasdaq starting off with a slight bias to the downside given the afternoon weakness. I'm still waiting for them to maybe snap it back, but we'll see if we get something later in the session. But we've got another 20 minutes to go, so we will see. But we got news tomorrow, CPI, and that's about it. So we'll leave it there for now, guys. And I'll see you back bright and early in the morning. You guys have a good evening. So that's 4 trades on the NASDAQ. I'm down 2 losers there and down 92 on that one. So, and it wasn't going to be more aggressive than that. All right, guys, later.